Well, obviously, here at the sheriff's office, our job and our goal is always to provide the best service we can to our community. And anytime we realize that we're not doing things at an optimal level, we want to get better. So, from one standpoint, the report, while it is not necessarily what we would want to hear, it gives us an opportunity to improve the service that we provide for this community. So, I think that's probably the key thing. And a lot of the things that are in the report have already been addressed, particularly um, the answer time, which the answer time is probably the biggest thing, and it's a little confusing when you start thinking about how is that calculated, because the answer time is the time that someone calls 911 and the time that an actual dispatcher answers the call. Then the state requires us um, to answer 90% of the calls within 10 seconds. That is what we use with something we call ring time, which means that's the time it actually hits our public safety and answering port. So it hits our comm center. That ring time is where we determine if we were meeting that 90%. We know during this audit, we come to find out that we were not calculating that time right. And that calculation is not done by our staff. It's done by the county's 911 office. And we have a thing that's called automatic call distributor, which when a call comes from the public, it goes to the ACD, it goes in that queue, and then once the dispatcher is available, then the dispatcher gets the call. So that's a queue time. So the way that the state requires us to calculate it is queue time plus ring time, and the 911 office and our management staff was only using the ring time, and that's why the numbers aren't exactly what we thought they were going to be.
When did you realize that?
I don't have an exact time frame, but we knew for a little bit that we weren't meeting the 90%, and I think that kind of came after COVID when our staffing dropped significantly. We were down about 48%, which is about 75 to 80 dispatchers. So we knew we weren't meeting the times. The problem is that some of the information we were receiving from the 911 office was saying that we were meeting in time. So because some of their software wasn't working right. But what we've done since then is, like I said, we had about 75 to 80 vacancies from about 2022 to probably mid 2024. Now, as of today, we only have 10 vacancies. So we've done a lot to recruit additional staffing. That includes everything from salary increases to incentives to just our recruiting team has been out just hitting the streets and trying to find qualified applicants that want to serve this community. I think some of there's some AI things that are in there that talks about using AI. There's some things about key performance indicators and using APCO, which is the organization that kind of regulates communication centers around the country. So we're looking at that and kind of implementing some of the suggestions that they have made. So it helps some. I mean, I think, like I said, we knew, because I've talked to people who have experienced an extended answering experience. So what I will tell you is, if you do call 911, and I know if because a lot of people expect you call 911 and it's answered really, really quick. If you don't get an answer really, really quick, don't hang up, because what happens then is, as you hang up, that call is still in our queue, and our dispatchers are then required by law to call that number back to make sure everybody's okay. So I would tell you, even if you do experience an extended call time, stay on the line. You will be answered in the order, like the message says, you will be answered in the order that you called. So I think that helps. But I think with increasing our staffing, I think that is going to significantly improve the customer service that our residents are receiving. Absolutely, don't hang up. We at the sheriff, like I said, we at the sheriff's office, we're going to do everything in our powers to serve this community with the best possible service that we can provide, and that includes answering the 911 call. I think that's real important.